Okay, this is percent of change word problems. And this is the number 7 that we're working on next. There were 832 copies of Loretta's Lion sold within the first year of being published. That's pretty good. So in the second year, the number of copies sold was 12.5% less than the first year. Uh-oh. How many copies of Loretta's Lion were sold in the second year? So it's giving us a percent, and we need to know the number. So before saying, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do, yeah, you do. You do know what to do. We're going to circle what you know. She sold 832 copies the first year. Then the second year, she sold, this is the percent, 12.5 or 12.5% less than the first year. So how many copies were sold? This is what we need to know in the second year. I'm going to take this information and I'm going to transfer it over here. So you can see I have my 2 boxes here. So I'm going to use this as workspace and keep everything together so I don't have to make a mess of it. So what do I know? I know that she sold 832 copies the first year. And I could have put first year over here. I was going to, and I didn't. And I had already started writing. So it's like, I'll just keep it like that. Then I know that the second year she sold 12.5% less. So that was second year. What do I need to find out? So you're going to write to find, not an option. It's just telling your brain, what am I looking for? What do I need to search for? I need to find the number of copies sold in second year. So I need to find out the 12.5%. What is that equal to in the number of books? So I'm coming over here and I have my part, my whole, I have my percent, and I have my 100. Well, what do I notice with my information that I took? See, isn't this easier to read than all of these words? Because a lot of you don't like to read words, but you have to read it just so that you can pull the information out. This is not optional. This 832 is my total, so that's my whole. I don't know the number, so I don't have the part. So that's going to be my X. But I do know my percentage, and that's going to be my percent. So if you're wanting to, you can do the part is X over 832 equals, I have a 12.5% over 100. So you can do it that way. Or you have part over whole. And then I have X over 832 equals 12.5 over 100. And now you're ready to start. You're going to have some big numbers. So you can simplify that or just cross multiply. So I'm going to show you on just the cross multiplication. Here I have 100. If you're wanting to put the times X, you're more than welcome to. I'm going to write this equation, 832 times 12.5. And now I'm going to solve. I'm going to use this space up here. Let's see how much. Yeah, I just have this little bit here. So I'm just going to kind of squeeze that in there to show my work. So I'm going to move out my decimal one time, and then this looks like 832 times 125. So I'm going to multiply that out. 5 times 2 is 10. And I'm going to fix this because otherwise my numbers get moved down. That's 10. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 is 16. 5 times 8 is 40, plus 1 is 41. Bring down this, cross this out, put my 0 as my hero. And now because I have 3 place values here, I'm going to have 3 lines. So 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. Line up your stuff. 2 times 8 is 16. Cross out my 2, add my 0 and my 0, and now I'm starting in the hundreds place. And this is easy because it's 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 8 equals 8. And now I can add it up. Because you can see I'm out of some room there, I'm going to just move my numbers over here. I have 41, 4160. Then I have 0, 4, 6, 6, 1. And then it's 0, 0, 2, 3, 8. And I can add those up now. So I'm bringing down my 0. 6 plus 4 is 10. Regroup. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 plus 3 is 13. 8, 9, 10. That's a huge number. Now, I only had 1 decimal spot, right? So I'm going to start from my end, start from the very far right, and move it over once. So now I'm getting rid of this one, so it's actually 10,300. So I have 10,300, and this is 100 times x. I need the inverse, which means opposite. So if it's multiplication, I need to move my 100. This needs to stay put. I need to move my 100 over there by dividing this by 100, and I'm going to divide this by 100. So now my x is by itself because this isolates, or this zeroes out. So x equals, I have 2 zeros that I can do. Okay, caught my mistake before because it's like, that did not work out. See what I did up here? I had to regroup, but I didn't add that in. So it's 6 plus 4 is 10, plus 3 is 13, plus 1 is 14. So I'm going to change that right here. And then regroup 8, 9, 10. So this is what this is here, which makes a little bit more sense in my brain. All right, so then we have x equals 104. But we're not done yet, right? Because I have to go back to my question. We need to find out the number of copies sold in the second year. So I have to take my total, because this was the total amount that was sold the first year. So that's 832. This was the percent of, this is 12.5% less than this, right? So it's 104. And now I need to subtract. So I'm going to regroup. That becomes a 2. So 12 minus 4 equals 8. Bring down my 2. So the second year they sold 728 copies for year 2. So yes, you found what was 12.5% of the 832, but that's not what the question was asking us. So remember, it said how many copies were sold in the second year. So once we found out what the 12.5% of this number was, the 832, then I needed to take that amount and subtract it from last year's sales. And this is what this year's sales are. I'm going to write this year's sales. And so this is actually real life. We don't think about it this way. As you are progressing and getting easier and easier with the multiplication, the division, the fraction of parts, the percent of something, then your brain's going to start picking up and you're going to come up with other ways of solving for it. but I want to stick with the foundations for y'all. All right. We're going to be working on the next one on the next video.